Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question.
Oh, the weather's gorgeous.
Wonderful.
My geranium did great that I was repotting that
Good.
had all the buds. My question is on meal organite. Can I use that for all my plants?
I'm going to say yes. And I tell you that with assurance because we don't worry about its source once it has been, so to speak, pasteurized. Now, I don't know if that's the right word, but it is a process that's been going on for a great number of years. It ends up with being a very high organic content. I know that it has been, I have not, but I know people have used it on their veggies, flowers, and et cetera. Use it right up at the beginning with soil preparation and so on. I just don't see any reason. When a chemical passes through the root, there's a considerable transition and how it happens. It's all done by osmosis, and effectively, anything that was negative is already, before it's ever bagged, has already been taken care of. And then with this passage through osmosis into the plant, it's another assurance that there just shouldn't be any problem, period. So I guess that's the long way of answering yes, but I wanted to give you some assurance.
What's the difference between that and Osmocote? Because I think Osmocote makes my plants grow too much.
Well, it can. Now, it depends on how much you've used. It depends on which length of material, because it comes in 30, 60, 90, and I think 120-day formulas. You may want to drop back to the 30-day, use only half the recommended rate, and so on. Now, the difference is this. Osmocote is a chemical material. It's in, I'm going to call it, I believe they still call it a little bitty prill. The prill has the fertilizer or other nutrients, whatever, inside. This lays on the ground or has been incorporated, and as water is infused into this little prill, it pushes nutrients out into the soil. So I think if you simply cut back on the amount you use per plant, maybe go out a little further from the stem and put it on, that would maybe slow things down. I don't think that the 30-day against the 120 will make a whole lot of difference. I think it's the amount used. Now, that is completely different from milorganite. Milorganite is an organic material comprised of various materials, cooked, if you will, and that's, again, a very poor term, but it's been managed over into a form that goes into the soil and is absorbed the same way, but it's a whole different material going in and to how it's absorbed. I hope that makes some sense to you, because chemist I'm not, but yet I've been shown and told how these things work, and I've retained a part of it which I've just passed on to you.
Fred, I have to say that when explaining the origins of milorganite, you were very diplomatic.
Well,
let's just put it that way, because
careful and diplomatic.
We all know
yes.
where it comes from.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right. And which
is good
yeah,
fertilizer, right?
It's good fertilizer, and it to me is a very important type of material because it's a reuse of material that used to be wasted.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com